Hello and welcome to this week's Photography Pubcast. It's season 2, episode 6. I do apologise. Unfortunately, you've got me back. There's only 4 of us here at the moment. Darren's not here this week, but James should be. So, you know, hopefully he'll pop along. But the reason we've all started without him is because it's the Q&A, and we've got someone waiting for us already. So, shall we bring him in?
Bring him in.
Yeah.
Bring him in.
Oh, here he is.
Here he is.
Yeah, me okay?
Yes, we can. Hello, Kevin.
Hello, Kevin. How are you?
Hey, Kevin.
I'm good, thanks, chaps.
Excellent.
Kevin.
Excellent.
Kevin, you were one of the commended. Were you on the competition?
Yes. Yeah, the Anglesey coastline shot.
Ah, yes.
That Dave liked.
No one saw that coming, did they? Dave liking an Anglesey coastline shot.
To be fair, I didn't know it was Anglesey because it didn't say so.
Oh, when I sent it did. I gave the title as, I think it was a Geology of Anglesey Coastline, I think I titled it as.
Yeah.
I should have read the email, shouldn't I, really? I'm a lazy git.
Before we go any further, sorry, Kevin, I've just got to admit a latecomer. Hang on.
I was going to say that it was funny because when Dave was talking about my picture, I knew it wasn't going to win because while he was saying some great things, thanks very much, Dave, but the rest of them were like stony silent. And you, Gaddy, just wanted to edit something out of it, clone something out of it. So, look, yeah, that's not going to win.
The only reason I was stony silent is because I talk too much and I'm disinterested. So I kept my mouth shut on that one.
I got to say, I really liked it other than that little bit. A little bit I would have cloned out. But, you know, look, hey, don't take it from me. I'm no photographer at the end of the day. So,
no, you know what I mean? When it comes to landscape now, bloody hell. I've had... 3 times I've had 3 long weekends up the Lake District this year. Come back with absolutely sod all every time.
Yeah.
So it's so lucky.
Well, you know how that feels, don't you, Gary?
I was going to say I can totally relate to that. Totally relate to that. Anyway, did you have a question for us, Kevin?
Well, yeah, I sort of I'm a club photographer. So as a club photographer, I dip my toe into a lot of different, genres. I suppose sport's my favourite subject really, and then I try to do a lot of landscape and nature. But as I said, been up to the lakes 3 times this year, come back to actually sod all. So it got me thinking about, with you guys, how do you keep yourselves motivated to keep going out and doing these videos? Because it's not easy by any stretch of the imagination. And it's time consuming. You can have so many failures, I would imagine. And it's something I could never do personally, what you guys do. A big thumbs up that you do it for us, But yes, I'd love to know how you guys keep yourself motivated and to keep yourselves going out. And there must be times when you think to yourselves, oh, do you know what? I can't be arsed with this. Because, it does look hard work, to be honest,
Well, I'll start this because, funnily enough, I was literally just chatting off before we started. I haven't put a video out for about nearly a month now. And I've got 4 sat waiting to go out. And I just can't bring myself to get round to editing them. So we're all where you are at times. We all have these down moments where you just don't feel like doing it, and I don't know. I can't speak for anyone else to say how you keep motivated, because I have had a few periods recently where I haven't been motivated, but I think if you just leave it alone, it usually comes back.
Yeah.
I mean, who's a regular, more regular? I mean, I guess James is the only one.
Probably
really.
James is the more regular of all of us.
Yeah,
James is pretty regular. Yeah.
Well, I'd say I mix it with the passion that I just like to go outdoors in the Lake District.
Yeah.
And I just like to. I don't know. It's just that's the pull to me. And I've been doing this for 4 years, and without recording it as a video, I just feel lost.
Yeah, because I was going to say, because you all put this effort in, and to be fair, you don't get much reward out of it, I wouldn't have thought. What sort of reward do you get out of it for yourselves?
I don't know. I'm not really in for the reward, really. I'm just proud of the fact that I've gone out there, I've actually produced something. I produced a video. And yeah, it's good to get your feedback now and then, but I'm not so much in it for the numbers, and definitely not monetary reasons as well, because what I get about a few quid each video. It's definitely like that. It's just the passion of being out there.
Yeah.
And I've got quite an artistic flow, you see, not just for the photography, but the video as well. So that's the passion. We've all got passion, haven't we? And that's what feeds it, really. If I don't go out in a week, I miss editing a video, I'll be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never done any video. I can see where you come from with just getting out and taking pictures is quite often just a nice thing to do at the end of the day, isn't it? You mightn't mean much, but just getting out with the camera, I suppose, yeah.
Yeah, I try and get out if I can every couple of weeks at least. Sometimes it has to go 3 weeks if other things are going on. But, so I will try and go out and shoot with the camera. Now, if I think I've got something in mind that I want to include on a vlog, then I will make a vlog of it. If I just want to go out and shoot a few pictures, I'll do that. But the thing that I guess motivates me on the channel, and we've talked about this on the podcast so many times before, is you've got a core subscriber base that will always respond and will always give you nice comments, and you're not in it to get nice comments, but when you do get some positive constructive comments back, and when you can really see that the guys that watch your channel really enjoy it and sometimes take inspiration from it and will saying, I really look forward to seeing you out again, that drives you to go out and create another piece of content. And if you can continue to do that, you're enjoying it, and that's the most important thing. You've got to enjoy it yourself. There's no point in being out there and being a stooge just to please other people. You've got to get the enjoyment out of it yourself. Yeah.
Can I just jump in, Jamie, and ask you a question? It's on the same sort of theme, but for you personally, more or less, maybe Gary as well, is that where you're based. So I just wonder if whether you struggle sometimes with motivation as regards your landscape palette, if you like, being restricted on what you've got to choose from, compared to likes of, say, Dave with Anglesey and all of Snowdonia, and James with Yorkshire and all of the Lake District. I just wonder whether you sort of get a bit disheartened sometimes, even when you've got that one sort of segment that you can work with.
I wouldn't say disheartened. No, I think that clearly the landscape around here is a little bit less dramatic, shall we say, than some of the other guys on here. But I've got a landscape around here, the same as Gary's got, that it's got a lot going for it. There's lots of areas that are quite unique to the rest of the area, like the fenlands, the traditional fenlands, and the reed beds, and the flat landscape. It's got a little bit of something going for it. So there's always somewhere to go. But I think, if I'm totally honest, where I've gone to is I've gone more into woodland, because we've got a good section of woodland around there, from the old to modern plantations, and I've got a good playground around here for lots of different woodlands.
I did put a comment up on your last vlog about jealous of some of the woodland you get into, because I don't have anything like that around here where I live.
Yeah, and I've got the choice of the Norfolk coast, which is fantastic. That's only about probably an hour and a half away from me, and I do go up there every now and again. But yeah, I just enjoy going out locally, if I'm honest. Don't get me wrong, when we went to the lakes and I've been over to Snowdonia, it's absolutely fantastic, and it's brilliant to actually just experience a different landscape to what you're used to. Yeah. But I'm more than comfortable, and it doesn't demotivate me at all having what I've got on my doorstep, but just make the most of it for what I can. Yeah.
Where do you live, Kevin, if I may ask?
I live up on the Wirral.
Yeah, I was going to say the Wirral, Kevin.
Just about 6 miles outside of Chester.
Yeah, you have got some woodlands near you. It's just finding them, It's just finding them. They don't. Yeah.
Sort of ancient woodland or broadleaf tree like woodland, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Because I went to Delmere Forest on Sunday.
Yeah.
But it's mainly pines, It
is. Great thing about pines, though, is if you look in between the pines, you'll often find a deciduous tree somewhere sat in the middle of them. And some of the best woodland photography shots have been in pine trees with an odd, strange tree in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, we went to just scoping out on Sunday with a couple of other guys from the club, just to find that sort of thing, really. Just so we could see any compositions for like another day, if we get like a misty morning or a foggy day or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, didn't really. I must admit, it's quite tough when you don't do really any woodland. I think to see compositions, sometimes
most difficult thing in the world, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons why I started taking woodlands is to challenge myself. But it's just thinking about things a little bit differently with woodland shots. It's not about finding a composition. It's like working out the light and the textures, and then looking for something that leads you into the shot rather than finding a shot. It's a difficult thing to convey. It's one of the main reasons why I don't talk about woodlands and leave things like that to Simon Baxter and Jamie Overland.
Yeah. I do watch Simon Baxter. Yeah.
So bear with me here. I've got a bit of an idea. Okay, we've got 3 more people waiting in the waiting room, right? So I think we should bring them all on. Right,
Chuck them in deep end.
Okay,
Sounds like a car crash.
Let's that's part of the fun. Let's just bring them all in, and then we can carry on the conversation, and then we'll get their questions as well. So this could be an absolute nightmare of a move for me, or it could be genius. I can't say, but we've brought 3 more people on all at the same time. So there's now 9 of us in here having a conversation. Now, we were talking about motivation. And what keeps you going, and what keeps you going out there taking photos. Now, I know I don't think you vlog, do you, Roger?
No. I just take pictures. That's all.
Okay, but I know that Alan does, and I know that Dave does. So, what about you guys?
To be honest, Gary, the question's sort of more towards keeping the vlogging going, not so much just going out and taking pictures.
Yeah.
But how you keep motivation to do the vlogging side of it, you know.
Well, these 2 guys are vloggers as well. So Alan's a vlogger and Dave's a vlogger. And I know that Dave's had quite a period of downtime before he came back, and I know Alan's been on and off with vlogging. So what keeps you guys going?
I don't really worry so much about the vlogging side of it, to be honest with you. It's photography first, vlogging second. I don't go out particularly to vlog. I'll go out to take photographs, and if I feel like I want to vlog or do something to camera, I will. I don't say to myself, "You've got to go out today." I know you do that, Gary. You go out particularly to vlog, but my first sort of thing is to go out to take photographs. As far as motivation to go out to take photographs, I'm like everybody else. I think I have ups and downs with it, and have a little break. I go through my images on my PC, and I don't know. Sometimes I'll see a nice image online, and that might just sort of spur me to get back out. But I think it's conditions as well. If you look at the conditions when you're out, it's something that will make you go out. I don't know. Or if I get a friend who'll say, "Come on, Al, let's go out," I say, "Oh, I don't particularly want to, but go on, I will. I'll come and keep you company." And then I go out and I think, "Oh, I'm glad I went out," So nothing in particular to keep me going out. Just I think like everybody else, we all have our ups and downs about sort of going out. But as far as vlogging or photography comes first for me.
It's interesting though, because I think the rest of us here, the regulars, I know Dave Griff, I know that you will sometimes go out without vlogging it. But I'm pretty sure, I don't know, Paul, do you? Because I know personally, I feel very reluctant to go out and not vlog it.
You can't, Gary, you can't go out and not vlog.
No, exactly. So
I've tried to make you do it, but you won't.
Yeah, I do it all the time, Gary. I was out with Adam yesterday, Adam Carnage, and neither he or I, First Man Photography, neither he or I vlogged it. We just chewed the cud. Had a chat, went up to Bamford Edge. The conditions weren't right. I told him they weren't going to be right. He said we're going to have a clouding version. I said, no, we're not. But we didn't. And we went up, had a chat, chewed the cud, went down, had some breakfast, and it was brilliant. Yeah, so no, I don't feel the need to vlog at all. In fact, I'll be honest with you, I think the vlogging actually, and David mentioned this in the past, can get in the way of being a landscape photographer. In fact, it does a lot. So, and there is that dichotomy, though, between, as Jamie was saying, that between the people that watch me or watch everyone and to put a video out because we feel that they maybe are looking for one, and actually personal enjoyment. And at the moment, my mojo regarding vlogging is somewhat lacking, but my passion for landscape photography is also somewhat lacking. But I think that happens in fits and spurts or fits and whatever, lulls and highs. I'm just looking for some inspiration at the moment, and I think if we're going to talk about vlogging, it's down to the fact that I've tried to become something I'm not, and I don't like what I've become on my YouTube videos. My YouTube videos are off the cuff, not planned, and just do it and enjoy it. And I'm not enjoying doing the YouTube at the moment
because I don't do any video at all, and I just think that trying to do these vlogs would, as you say, would just get in the way of trying to have a day out doing some photography, you know.
I think going back to what James was saying as well, if you've got a passion for both photography and videography, and then editing and putting it together, it all wraps up together, you know. And you want to go out to create photography, but you also want to go out to create a vlog because you enjoy doing it. You know, I'm probably not as regular. I'm definitely not as regular as James in terms of every time he goes out.
I'm quite regular now.
Oh yeah, okay, that's good. Those tablets are working. That's good. But I'm not to the point where I will go out every time and vlog. But generally speaking, I actually really enjoy the whole process from start to finish. Unless you come back with a bunch of absolute rubbish images, and then that's slightly demotivating. And then, to be fair, I won't put a vlog.
Sorry, what happens if you come back with a good video, though? A good story video? Even though despite you haven't got any decent photographs, would you not put it out?
No, for me personally, I've got to have images in the vlog that I'm happy with. If I put an image, if I put a vlog out and I'm not comfortable with the images, and I feel as I'm just sharing the images for the point of creating a vlog, I probably won't do a vlog. And I've done that lots of times where I've got lots of video and just not create a vlog.
That's where that wouldn't bother me. If it was an interesting enough video of, say, a location, it wouldn't bother me so much if you had any quality images or not.
But it depends on the video footage that I've taken. If most of the video footage I've taken is around those images and talking around those particular images, and then if I'm not actually happy with what I've created at the end of the day, then that video is not really going to work. That's the point.
Why? Yeah. Why is it not going to work, Jamie?
Because I'll be talking about those particular images and how I've constructed them, and then personally myself, if I'm not happy with them, I'm not going to tell you how I've made an image that doesn't work for me, really.
So that depends how you narrate your images. If you're pleased with the images at that time, but then you come back and you're not pleased, then I understand that. But if you take the images and then go around why you've taken them, and then build your story around the day.
And that's the point I'm making. It's more the fact when I've gone away from taking the image, if I think actually that's not a bad image, and I think once I process it, I'll be happy with that, and then come back and look at it and think, I really don't like that. It didn't work. I missed that over there. You know, it looks rubbish.
But isn't that part of the vlogging thing anyway? Part of the storytelling is that if you're going out to do instructional videos, and they've all instructional videos for photography, for landscapes, and they're always great images, we don't always take great images.
Yeah, but the difference is for me that mine aren't instructional videos. It's about how I do things and how you know what I get out of it. And if I'm not happy with it, I'm not going to put it out. And that's just. But don't get me wrong. I understand your point, and I think there is a vlog to be made in terms of things that go wrong, things that you don't get right, and there's a story there. But that's just not what I want to put out personally.
Well, I enjoy Jamie's videos.
Thank you, Roger.
That's only because he puts the decent ones out. If he put all the shit out, you probably wouldn't.
Exactly. Yeah. There's a method in my madness.
I'm just fascinated the way he gets out and does the vlogs. You know, it'd be interesting to watch. And I wouldn't say, well, not participate in doing a vlog myself, but because I enjoy the photography and your inspiration in the woods and that, and home fed. As you know, I live 15 mile away from you. Possibly, and it's just fascinating. All these, we went up to Bamford Edge, we went to Anglesey, we went up to these falls and them falls. Well, I don't get a chance now, not down here. So it's interesting.
Yeah, but I've heard that before. Is that if you maybe not watch me, but I can't give a two hoots about Bamford Edge or Ownfell or whatever. It's something that Kevin said about he went up to the Lake District and came home with nothing. There's shots to be had everywhere. The problem is with YouTube and stuff like this, is that you think you need to go to Ownfell or Bamford Edge to get a shot. You just don't. You'll have walked past 150 shots getting up to that location before you even take an image, is look around you. There are shots everywhere. So no matter, you were talking about you're in Chester near the Wirral, there'll be loads of shots around there. Loads of shots. It's just finding them.
To be fair, going back to the subject about Roger and you saying, Paul, that, you know, there's something everywhere. Roger lives in Wisbech, mate. I mean, you're scraping.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
I don't think so.
Be careful there. Be careful there.
You are.
We've
I've
got
been to
Cambridgeshire.
Wisbech. I've been to Wisbech.
We've got Dursingham Bog, Holmes Fen,
That's not Wisbech, though, is it?
Holcombe Park. No, I'm just saying how flat it is for about 50 mile all the way around.
It is.
I was born in Wisbech. It's the best place in the world.
I'd love a woodland that was flat, I tell you.
Roger, if you're going out with expectations shooting mountain photography, you know you're not going to be there, are you? Really?
No, I just love Jamie's videos around Home Fen, and I've tried to go there, but the road was so damn rough. I thought I'd bottom the car out.
They've improved it now, Roger. They've relayed it.
Yeah,
it's like a red carpet there now.
You go to Woodwalton Fen.
Yeah, I haven't been for a while, but yeah, that's another one. That's a nightmare to drive to. Yeah, I agree.
You guys should get in touch at the end and arrange a morning out.
I wouldn't mind that at all.
There you go, Jamie. Invitation for you.
We'll sort something out, Roger.
Yeah,
one to one there.
I'll tell you what. Let's move on. Okay, let's move on and get another question. Dave Hurst, you've been sat very quiet. What's your question for us, mate?
My question was when the Pubcast first got going, everyone was sat there and they was all having a drink, and I thought, where's that gone? Because you're all sat there, and I'm wondering if you've all gone teetotal or something like that. So I thought I'd come on and start the trend back. You know what I mean?
I've always been teetotal, Dave. Coffee boy.
So I don't know about you guys, but I still have a drink on the podcast. I haven't got one today. I've got a Coke Zero Cherry, but I do.
It's a pink one as well.
Yeah, no, it's very nice.
I've been on the IPAs from the start. The last 2 weeks. Last week I had none in the fridge. This week I'm not feeling too good, so I've just got the Coke again. But I've been on the IPAs from the very start, and we'll have them regularly. It's just that every single week when we say what we drink and we all lift up the same beer, it gets a little bit monotonous, really, after a while.
Well, I think if anyone watched my vlogs prior, whenever I did a vlog, you know that I like to drink, but I didn't have, let's say, a high tolerance for drink. I could have 3 or 4 pints and get drunk.
Yeah.
But now I can have 6 or 7 of the really strong stuff and sort of be happily on my way, merry sort of thing. But yeah, but I need to leave the drink alone. Let's just put it out.
What's happened to your vlogs? Because you've not been vlogging for a while, have you?
Well, for anyone that knows,
I enjoyed your last video. When you last put one video when you reviewed that video about racism, I thought that was quite interesting.
Yeah, well,
racism.
The photography channel that I had, I mean, I just deleted it. I just got to a point where I thought, what's the point? It's just a personal thing. It wasn't against anybody else. I just thought I've had enough. I didn't start the channel to become some famous guy with thousands of subscribers and stuff like that. I just wanted to be able to load videos where I can give hints and tips, yada, yada, yada. Then I got over 1,000 subscribers, nearly 2,000. And I just thought the amount of people that are watching compared to comments that I were getting and stuff like that. And I just thought, you know what, I've just had enough. I don't want to be that guy. I just want my little corner of YouTube. So I deleted the channel, started a new channel, and I thought, I'm not just going to do photography, I'm going to do other stuff. Some of it's going to be controversial, as Gary knows. But not everyone's going to agree with what I say. But frankly, I couldn't care less. You either agree or you don't agree. You give me an opinion. You voice your opinion, and that's where I want to be. Because I just don't like the way things are going now. There's a lot of things that are just getting on my tits, and I think someone needs to stand up and say enough's enough. Let's get some kind of normality back. There's a lot of people don't like what I've got to say, but frankly, I couldn't give a toss. And that's what my channel's about now. So if you don't like it, don't watch. If you do like it, stick around, subscribe, share it, whatever. And in past, I've never been one for saying, share my channel, subscribe and that. Because if that really annoys me, and always has. If you like what you see, you're going to subscribe, aren't you?
Yeah.
Don't all agree at once.
You're right. You're right.
But, you know, and if you don't like something, you're not going to... When someone comes along, before the video's even started, and they say, oh, don't forget like and subscribe and stuff like that, and I think, shut up, you dickhead. You know, you've got to you've got to watch the video before you decide if you like it or you don't like.
It's the whole YouTube algorithm, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but everyone wants the 5 minutes of fame, you know, and I don't care about that. I never have. There's people I like watching. I mean, like when the Pubcast started, I watched all you guys. I watched all the videos. I never commented on any of them. I mean, I commented on some of them, but not all of them. Did. Bearing in mind, I'm getting a little bit fresh because I've had a few beers, so just bear with me. But I like what you say. I love watching yous. There's a couple of vloggers out there that I like watching, and as I've watched them, I've gone on and I thought, you got people starting YouTube channels, and I thought, great, because I was always one for promoting guys starting YouTube channels and stuff like that. But then 5 minutes down the line, you know, I'm doing, you know, this, that, and other and stuff. Me and Gary have talked before and stuff, but
yeah,
I don't like it when someone comes along, starts a YouTube channel, everything's going great, 5 minutes down the road. Oh, by the way, I do seminars and I do tuition and stuff like that, and I just think, and I just lose interest. I really do. There's guys out there who are doing photography who are really good photographers. But there's guys out there who are coming out with this crap, saying, by the way, basically behind closed doors, I want to earn money. I want to take your money and I want to tell you, you know, this is the best thing for you guys. And they can't take a picture to save their life. Now, I'm not saying I'm the best photographer, far from it. You know what I mean? But I've been doing it over 30 years and I've learned a lot and I've picked up a lot. And I would rather say to someone, come along with me, spend the day with me. I ain't going to charge you nothing. Brilliant. You know, and if you walk away happy, then I'm happy. That's all I care about.
Can I just say?
You and Gary have obviously been speaking a lot.
I haven't paid Dave to come on. Okay, he's come on of his own accord, and I haven't prompted him and told him what to say. He's just a northern me. That's it. That's all I can say.
How much did he charge for a workout then?
That topic was discussed recently, wasn't it, about people making out to be something that they're not.
Yeah, but they're conning people. That's the simple fact of it. They are conning people.
I think a lot.
Sorry, Paul.
No, it's all right. Sorry.
You get people watching YouTube, watching videos, and what they're trying to do is they search out information. That's the main purpose of them going on to YouTube. So I want to learn how to do this. Find a YouTube video, da-da-da-da. Occasionally they'll come across someone who can actually do that, right? And that's great. But then you'll come across these, forgive my language, but this is something that really gets on my nerves. When you get dickheads who come along, start a YouTube channel, say, oh, I can do this, I can do that, and I'm going to show you. And then they're giving out false information, or they're giving out information that's wrong, or the way they do it and stuff like that. And it's not constructive to people that are actually learning.
Well, you were one of the first guys I watched when I went on YouTube. You're one of the first people that subscribed to my channel. We're going back now before all of these were on YouTube, right at the beginning. And, you know, you had, what, 3,000-4,000 subscribers. I had 600. You came on and you said to me... I
didn't even have that, Paul.
Well, you were somewhere near it, nearer 3,000. And then I had like 600. And you came on and said, keep doing what you're doing, lad, because I'm enjoying it. And, you know, you're an inspiration. The thing is that you deleted your YouTube channel, which was a great shame because you're an awesome photographer. You're also a Nikon shooter, which was awesome as well. But you took awesome, brilliant shots, you know, and you were an inspiration to me to go out and do vlogs. And I understand where you're coming from about the money aspect, but unfortunately, I've said this on my last vlog or the vlog before last, is if you think YouTube is anything other than making money, then you're deluded. You know, and it goes back to what previous people were saying about they go out and they enjoy the vlogging. Vlogging for me has always been by the by. for me, it's primarily photography. The videography of it, I enjoy it purely because people enjoy watching it. But for me, it's photography. So if I go out and I'm with the camera and I want to take pictures, I'll take pictures. And if I want to vlog it, I'll vlog it. But that won't make money. It never will do.
I got to say though, Paul, I don't 100% agree with that. I agree with a lot of what you said, but I think there's a space for people who want to go out and make videos without making money.
I didn't say no. There are, because they're doing it from the artistic point of view, which James said, James Burns said, and Jamie Overland. They're doing it because they're enjoying the videography side of it, and they're enjoying the camera side of it. But there's I think there's three camps. My camp is I'll go out and take photographs, and if I want to vlog it, I'll vlog it. There are people that love vlogging and the videography side of it, and like taking images, like Jamie and James. And then there are people that are not that in. They do like photography, but they're not. It's not. How do I explain it? Yes, they're in love with photography, but they realise that it'll make money, and then the videography becomes the be-all and end-all. And they subscribe to my channel, and halfway through a bloody video. I mean, I'll rant now. I'll agree with Dave. Halfway through a video, if you like my video, please like and subscribe, and add a comment below. That's a YouTube algorithm. That's a YouTube algorithm. That's people who have seen the fact that you'll become popular on YouTube. Please like and subscribe and comment below. I've always said to people, please comment below. I love your comments. And I did that 4.5 years ago before I even realised that YouTube enjoyed that as an algorithm, because I love the social interaction, like Jamie was saying. Jamie Overland was saying, is that, he enjoys the interaction of the people who follow him as a community. So I think there are three camps, and with that, I'll shut up.
But what about these people, if I can just say, what about these people who have a passion for photography and they want to make it their full-time occupation? They want to earn money for it, and so they're using YouTube as a good outlet to get that money in, so they can continue with their lifestyle as being a photographer.
I think that's great. I think it's absolutely great. Yeah,
I've no problem with that. I just say my thing is just be honest right from word go about it. If that's what your intention is, don't con people and try and pull people in another way.
I don't think they're conning people, are they?
I think it's clear.
They think they are. I don't think they're conning people.
No, all right. Maybe I said conning wrong, but I just think that people, if they see somebody, they get drawn in. You know what I mean?
I think what happens, and I think Dave's got. I do agree with Dave actually. I think what happens is that a lot of people start off, and they start photography and they start vlogging, specifically vlogging really, as a hobby because they enjoy it and it's a good outlet, and maybe they're a little bit, they want to be in the limelight. But there's a point, and you can see it with a lot of vloggers where they get to a certain number of subscribers and they change. Everything changes. Suddenly, it's no longer I'm going out for a bit of fun. It's almost I'm going to the places that I know you want to watch because I need the numbers. And then it suddenly becomes a business for them, and their whole, I switch off then usually. Their whole personality changes. Their whole raison d'etre for photography, for vlogging changes.
And not only that though, Gary, you notice the titles of the videos change as well.
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean,
I remember you, Gary, doing that video, and I started watching your video, and you're talking about some thing about photography and stuff like that, and how you do this and other. And I thought, as soon as I started listening to you, I thought, what are you on about, you div? I did. And then this went on for a little bit, and I'm thinking,
Panos.
I'm thinking, you're all right? Are you? You're off your head, you. And then all of a sudden, you were talking about this guy that were doing this video that you'd watched, and you were taking Mickey out of him. And I thought, thank God for that.
I wasn't taking the Mickey out of him. Can I just point that out?
No, but you did this video about someone who was saying, "Oh, do this and other," and you was like, "No, you don't do that." And but you know what I mean.
The reason I did that is because, and we could maybe ask some of the guys who don't vlog here. So Kevin and Roger. The reason I did that is because whether you like it or not, it doesn't matter if you've got 100 subscribers or 100,000 subscribers. You have got an influence over people.
Yeah.
And it's about how you choose to use or exert that influence, whether you're going to do it to, basically what I'm saying is if you're going to give people facts, make sure they're the correct facts, make sure you're not lying to them. And the whole point of that video is that I totally made something up. And you sat there, well, you didn't, Dave, because you went, what a load of rubbish. But I'll bet you there were people who sat there and went, I never knew that. I never realised that. And then I had to point and say, sure. No, Dave, you didn't. I'm not having that, Dave Griff. You didn't believe it. Did you? No, you didn't.
I bet Dave will think it's same as me. What was this guy on about?
Yeah, but the point is that we have an influence. Let's move on and let's have Alan's question, because he's been sat there very patiently waiting to ask his question. So, Alan, what's your question, mate?
My question is, when you started putting photographs on the internet, social media, what was the first site that you put an image onto, and is it still on there, and do you still go on that particular site? Gary, there you go first.
Yeah, the very first photo I ever put on social media went on Flickr, and it's still there now for everyone to see. Yeah, so yeah. So I can't remember what it was. Probably a shot from Greece done on an iPhone 2 or an iPhone 3.
Dig it up and put it up.
Maybe I will. Maybe I'll overlay it so you can see it.
Yeah, have a little look at it.
Yeah. So wasn't anything great, but I still enjoy it now. So, Jamie, what about you?
Probably Facebook initially, but that was just to share it with family and friends. I think, in actual fact, it was Flickr as well. I did open a Flickr account back in the day. I put some pictures up, and yes, to answer your question, I have deleted them. The first ones I put up, and the ones that are left, I don't hardly use Flickr. I started to use it, and then I just keep forgetting to upload on them, to be honest. So it's one of those sites that I'll upload every now and again. But to answer your question specifically, the very first photo sharing site was Flickr, and yes, I have deleted them. There you go. Honest answer.
I think a lot of us were. My first site was a social media site, and it's still going, and it's called EPZ, but ePhotozine. I don't know if any of you have heard of that.
I remember that. Yeah.
I do. It's great.
How many? Any of you on ePhotozine?
Yeah.
No. Not anymore.
No.
I'm still on there, but I did delete a lot of my stuff originally. So I just go back to look at it now and again. And I'm
surprised that you delete your photos, Alan, because they're so good. I'm surprised that you deleted your photos because they're so good. Why did you delete it? Did you fall out?
Because I think, like everybody else, really, you look at something after a period. We're talking. True. I think I was on Photozine in about 2005, 6 or 7. It was a fair time ago, and you look at them after a while, and you think, no, that's not really good. And you just delete them. I know
it's also fair to say the photograph might be good, but back then you were limited to maybe a megabyte upload.
That's it.
And that would take you a week and a half in South Wales.
Oh, we're not that bad, Dave.
I was living there around then. I know how bad it was.
You've lived everywhere.
I know.
Is there anywhere that you've not lived? There's all little David Griffs around the country, I reckon.
My first stuff was probably GeoCities or MySpace or something like that.
Mine was Friends Reunited.
Oh gosh, yes.
I remember that. Yeah. I don't think I ever posted a picture on there, but I was certainly on there.
I put a picture of my Ferrari on there to piss my school friends off. All those bastards that bullied me.
Have you had a Ferrari?
Yeah. So I put that up there. Yeah. But my first proper, here's a piece of artwork that I'm happy with was on my personal Facebook. I didn't start using sharing to other photographers until probably as recently as 2016, 2017. But it was all Facebook, and it was on Facebook groups rather than just my personal page. But it was as recently as that I felt confident enough to say, here's my stuff.
I get a bit bored with photography. What Ferrari did you have?
We'll cover that another time offline, mate.
Well, no, I'd love to know. I mean, it works on a Pubcast, doesn't it?
Yeah, it was a 355 GTS.
Oh, beautiful. Gorgeous.
94?
97.
What colour?
Dark blue with pale grey leather.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Anyway, welcome to the Motoring Podcast.
Oh, no, it's a Pubcast, isn't it? It's not a podcast. It's not a photography podcast. Don't you get bored with just talking about photography? I do.
I'm bored already. I've been bored last half hour.
When I'm with my mates out in the pub, we start
with numbers.
We get bored of it and go into other stuff. So this should be the same.
Well, that's where we're at, I think. That's where we're at.
I was talking about this with Adam Carnage, and we were saying about when we were doing the nerds, and we just got bored talking just photography. And I said to him, that's why I love the Pubcast, because we just don't talk about photographs and photography. We talk about everything. And I said it was a real breath of fresh air coming on with all you guys, just to have a drink and have a chin wag. And on a Saturday morning, I wake up refreshed, thinking that was brilliant. So,
last time we got off topic, the comments were a bit salty, though, weren't they?
Well, stuff them.
What was that about?
Don't want to watch. Don't watch.
It was about Greta.
Go and do something else. Stuff the comments. If you enjoy it, enjoy it. If you don't, go and do something less boring instead.
Oh, that was a telly program, wasn't it?
Yeah, why don't you?
It was what? Why don't you want it?
I was going to say we were all. I think we were all saying it in our heads then. Yeah. Why don't you?
Yeah,
if you do like us, though, please like and subscribe. Don't.
Don't.
So JRB, James, which was the first site that you posted one of your images to?
I'm trying to wrap my brain. I can't really remember. I think it was Flickr. But I just. I don't use Flickr, so I deleted that about 2-3 years ago. I just don't use it.
Why did you delete it?
No use for it, really. I don't know. I just enjoyed. I think at the time it was more Instagram. I don't like too much social media. Now I'm just limited to Instagram and Twitter. Even Twitter, I don't really use a lot for photography. I just like to
not for photography.
Just wind people up.
Just for winding people up and being sarcastic in the comments.
I noticed, James, that I read your blog this morning that you started in 2007 with the first proper camera. Was it a 400D? 400D.
Yeah. Incidentally, that blog didn't meant to go out. I was just updating my website. I just amended a photo, and it must have automatically posted it on Twitter and Facebook.
I read it this morning or this afternoon.
I've seen a picture of this standing there with the 400D,
Yeah.
And you were up in Scotland, which was like really shocking for me. You taking photographs up in Scotland.
Who's up to? Me?
Yeah.
No, that was the lakes. Chris Sale took that photo.
Was that? I thought I read that it was Scotland. You'd posted an image up in Scotland.
Yeah. On the blog, yeah. Well, one of my first trips was to Loch Lomond back in 2007.
That's right,
yeah, that's right. And my very first photos, which I probably shared on social media, to be fair, was that of Loch Lomond. It's so overly processed.
There's nothing wrong with a bit of overly processed, I tell you.
It's funny though. You talk about deleting old images. I won't do that anyway, because that's your story, isn't it? That's your progression throughout the years.
Is that your photographic journey, perhaps?
Yeah, my photographic journey, dude.
That's a real adventure.
Iconic,
yeah.
What was everybody's first ever digital camera, coming from like 35mm?
Mine was a 400D.
Mine was an Olympus OE5M. I've got it here. Sat on thingy. Yeah.
Mine was a Nikon D70.
Right. I had a little point and shoot, which was a digital, which was a Panasonic TC70 or something. It was 4 megapixels. The first time I bought a DSLR, though, I went to Gran Canaria for a holiday and I bought one of them grey imports. And I think it was the same camera that James bought, the 400D, but it was known as a Rebel XTI.
Yes, it was. In America, there were Rebels.
So I went there and I had a Rebel XTI, I think for basically half the price of a 400D back home. I went there specifically. I said, come on, let's go to... Because they used to, when you out to Gran Canaria, they used to have these marketplaces and they were kosher goods out there, but you could actually barter with them. I went there for a honeymoon back in '94. I think I got married, and I came back with a chess computer that I still have here. And back home it was £210, and I paid something like £65 out there for it. And I said to my wife, we'd go back out there for a holiday because I want a camera. We did. But the other reason why I actually went...
She was lucky you brought her back by the sound of it.
There was another reason why I wanted to go to Gran Canaria as well. I went to Mas Palomas, not to see the nudists on the beach there, which is well known for, but it was there was a hotel there that had a bird, a hoopoe. Any of you heard of a hoopoe?
Hoopoe. Yeah, they'd be
yeah. And I
yeah.
was desperate to see one of these. There'd been one down in Newport. Had come over, and I thought, I am a bird watcher as well, and I thought, I'd really like to see a hoopoe. And Deb had said, we'll go to. I said, let's go back to Gran Canaria. We liked it there because I knew that down in this particular hotel in the gardens they were just running around. So one day I said to her, you have a day by the beach, and I'm just going to go for a drive or catch the bus. And I went down to Mas Palomas, and I was stood at the side of this hotel looking through the fence. People were sort of sunbathing, and I was just looking at this little hoopoe in the garden.
Yeah, you come out with a lot of dick pics. Yeah.
By the way, mine was a Panasonic Lumix G2.
What was the question?
G2?
Yeah. First
camera.
The question's
that's not that old.
Sidetracked, hasn't it?
2010, I think. Ooh. It was it was a Micro Four Thirds, and my favourite ever lens was on that camera, which was a 45-200, a Panasonic 45-200, which would have been a 90-400. Unbelievably good lens that was. Loved it. Used to love shooting with that lens. I only ever used it really to take photos of the girls, family, not just random girls.
Back to nudist.
Jesus Christ. When we were on holiday. But I love that camera. In fact, I think switching back to an earlier question, my very first photo on social media was taken with that camera.
Can I ask another question? Or have I got to get off? Because I've been on here an hour.
No, you can ask another question if you want to.
Okay, yeah. Talking about films, I'd like to ask everybody, what is their all-time favourite film?
Well, you can't have one of them all-time favourite, can you?
Yeah, I have one.
I've got one as well.
One film.
What is it? What is it?
Alan?
Ask you.
It's Jack Nicholson and Helen Hunt in a film called As Good As It Gets.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Brilliant film.
It is the most incredible, funny comedy ever.
Is that where he's OCD or autistic?
Yeah,
that's him. Yeah.
He plays a character called Melvin Udall. And he's the most obnoxious person you could. He's like
James R. Burns, a mix.
On steroids.
Is it Greg Kinnear? No,
Greg Kinnear.
Greg Kinnear,
plays a gay guy who gets beaten up.
Yeah,
but the script writing in it is absolutely fantastic. It makes me laugh. I could watch it every day and still sort of laugh at it. Jack Nicholson is an absolute amazing actor anyway. But the film itself, the script writing, if you ever get it's almost a chick flick.
That's a great
comedy.
I've watched it. Yeah, it's good.
And it's something you can watch, but when you watch it, listen to the little sort of one-liners in it, and it really the script writing is just something else as far as I can.
What about you, James R. Burns? What's yours?
Well, what a film's fixed in my head is Silence of the Lambs. From the first time I watched that, it's just why I don't know. I mean, Anthony Hopkins, excellent actor.
Welsh, by the way.
He's Welsh as well.
Nice.
Can't hold that, can he?
Hang on, it was your auntie.
No.
You just said Anthony Hopkins.
Anthony.
Oh, okay.
Anthony.
Right, so carry on.
Anthony Hopkins, boy.
Yeah, everything went for me. Good thrill, good story. I don't know,
very powerful story. Yeah.
Very good. Yeah, and Shawshank Redemption as well.
I was going to mention Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah, I could rattle.
I think that's a lot of everybody's. Top of everybody's list.
I've never watched it.
Oh, joking! Brilliant.
You need to watch that. That's a cracking film.
Yeah. It's one of the best films ever. But
it is.
Andy Dufresne was working in the lab.
Oh, okay.
What's yours, Hursty?
I'm one of those. I like the oldies. It's a Wonderful Life. I just love that film.
Yeah, gorgeous.
Christmas. Yeah, James Stewart.
Jimmy?
It's one of those that makes me teary. Let's put it that way.
Wouldn't imagine you as being teary, David, but of course.
Yeah, I mean, I might come across as the hard-faced guy, but no, I've got a heart, and that's one of my favourite films. I just absolutely love it.
So, Griffey, what about you?
Oh, me?
Sorry, I'm taking over here, Gary. Oh, shut up.
No, mate, you're all right.
Gary's just worried about the edit. Yeah, it's not going to happen. My favourite film, Dead Easy, By a Country Mile, Glengarry Glen Ross.
Which one, though?
Glengarry Glen Ross.
Yeah, which one?
Well, they star in it. What's the film?
Sorry?
They star in it. What's the film, though?
Do you really want me to outline about the film? I'm sure you've all heard of it.
No, I haven't, honestly.
Dave, I've never heard of that.
Really? Okay. It's based on a stage play written by David Mamet. It stars Al Pacino, Kevin Spacey, Jonathan Pryce, Jack Lemmon. Alan Arkin. The cast is just iconic, full Hollywood A-list. Yeah. And it's a dialogue piece about a hard sort of boiler room sales operation that have got strict targets to meet and the mess they get themselves in by trying to meet those targets.
It's the script that makes it, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. It's a dialogue piece.
Have you ever seen that Donnie Brasco?
Yes, I've seen Donnie Brasco.
That is a fantastic film with Al Pacino.
Don't think Al Pacino's ever made a bad film, has he?
I don't think he has. No, he's an absolutely fantastic actor.
De Niro
but seriously, Dave, I've never heard of that.
It's worth a watch.
I'm going to check out.
Okay. Kevin, what about you?
As I said, I haven't particularly got an out-and-out favourite. I think the one I've watched the most is The Big Lebowski.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
Yeah, that's
probably one of my favourites.
You've either got to be drunk or high to watch that.
Yeah, but it's just so brilliant.
Yeah.
Jamie, come on, Jamie. Come on.
Cheeky Girls, did they make a film? I'm just looking it up.
They did.
Yeah, the best of. Yeah.
I warned you.
Wanting Laurel and Hardy here or something, Jamie.
Well, Rita, Sue and Bob too.
That's you. That is you, mate. Rita, Sue and Bob too.
Is it my turn yet?
You starred in that. You were the guy on the veranda jumping up and down.
Go on, give me some. That was you.
Yeah. They put you in a grey wig. That's him. Yeah, that's him.
Jamie?
I thought I was going to get out of it. I haven't really got one, but no, okay.
Just name a film, Jamie. Then we'll move on.
Because I like Sigourney Weaver, which I've said before, I like the original Alien. I like that film.
It's just a spacesuit scene.
There's another one.
Barbarella, I was thinking.
Which one?
Barbarella. No, he said a space thing.
Yeah.
Dave Griffin. Do you
Jane
remember
Fonda.
Barbarella?
Jane Fonda with the boobs out.
Yeah. I'm old enough to remember that.
There was another one, Richard Dreyfuss and somebody called Always, which is a bit of a tearjerker.
That's an amazing film.
Cut off of Ghost. That's one that me and the wife like to watch every now and then.
You're going to say Jaws.
Why? Because it's a jerker.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just nice.
That's what the Cheeky Girls is for.
What I loved about that film.
I tell you what, Gary, you'll be lucky to get 10 minutes out of this.
It's been a lovely chat, but I can't see there being a podcast this week.
The other one I watched last year while we were on holiday, is it called The Piano? A film about the German...
Can't be much different
in Australia
to bloody
no, it's a film about the German story. It was a true story.
Yes, that's Das Piano.
Wasn't the acting a bit wooden?
Ich bin piano.
I can't remember. It was just one that I really enjoyed and it stuck in my mind. I'm going to shut up. This is why I told you not to come to me, you see.
Jamie, it might have been, was that one called The Pianist?
It could have been The Pianist. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
I said, James, I said pianist.
Yeah. VHS.
Yeah. Pianist. Yeah, that's the one. Anyway.
It was, I just got it's The Pianist, Roman Polanski.
Yeah.
I thought.
Yeah, thought it was The Pianist. Well, my favourite, I would say, is Gladiator. I love it.
Chick one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a great film.
Love Gladiator.
Because it's Gerard Butler.
Well, no, he's not in it.
Is he not? No, he's not. It's Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe. I'm
thinking 300.
I think that film has the best scene in any film ever when he reveals who he is. I just think that's just acted so brilliantly by everyone. Like just Joaquin Phoenix's expressions and yeah, Gerard Butler was amazing in it. Absolutely amazing. I think he played one of the horses.
Did he?
Yeah,
the back end.
Yeah.
Well, going back to 300, anyone like 300? I think that's a classic.
Oh, Russell Crowe. That was Russell Crowe, wasn't it?
No, that was Gerard.
Oh, I'm always getting those two.
Butler. Yeah.
If you want to learn how to edit your videos, watch Gladiator and use their split toning because it is amazing.
Well, that's really interesting.
Probably why.
Go on, mate.
I was going to say that's probably why it is a good film, but the split toning, as Paul has said, is something that you would immediately gravitate to. I think.
Do you know it's really weird? I was just going to say it in the last sort of maybe year of doing more videos and doing more color work and editing techniques. I sit and watch a lot of things now, and I don't really focus so much on what's going on in the actual program. I'm like, that's a lovely composition for that pull in there. Oh, look at the colours. Oh, they've done a transition. What a transition they've gone there. Yeah. It's like a fish finger advert, but it just looks amazing.
Yeah, watch how the colour edit the video. It's amazing. Yeah.
It is something when you get into videography a little bit that you're immediately looking at something and you think, oh, that's colour graded nice, or I don't like the grading on that. How strange that is that, we wouldn't have thought about that possibly ourselves 10 years, even 5 years ago.
Yeah, you don't think
but it's something that we look at now and immediately attune ourselves to.
I was going to say that Kevin was mentioning about him and friends being in a camera club and, meeting up and talking about bits and pieces. I wanted to talk. We've never broached the subject here of camera clubs. And
yeah, we have.
No, we haven't. We've had a chat about it, but it got edited out. I think it never made the light of day.
Right, I'm sorry.
Yeah, but
so you can try again.
No, I just wanted to know your thoughts. Start with you, Kevin, on why do you go to a camera club in the first place? I mean, I go to a camera club, let me just say, but a lot of people look down on camera clubs or won't go to camera clubs, and I'd be really interested to know why you go, and then if other people don't go, why they don't go.
I think it depends on what you think you want to get out of it. For me, it was just a case of, if you like, the old bit of a cliche to meet, like-minded people. Because when you're first starting out, that's what you want to do. You want to talk to people that might know a bit more than you and get some knowledge. And part and parcel as well for me was to meet people and hopefully get out. Have reasons for getting out and taking photographs instead of, because I find sometimes on your own, it's a bit like sort of trying to keep fit. Sometimes if you're just doing it on your own, you can't be arsed. You know what I mean? But if you've got other people to go and meet, other people to socialise with that are photographers, I just find it more of a reason to go out and do stuff. And then once you get into it, I think in the club, as long as it's a decent club, friendly club, that's the thing. I think back in the day, they were very sort of, up their own arse. And but now, well, especially our club in Bebington, we have social days out. We get away together in the lake. We socialise as well. So it's not just about photography, So that's why I enjoy it with the club that I'm in, because there's a social side to it as well as having guys to go out with,
When you first went to a camera club, what were your expectations, and was it how you expected it to be?
I don't know if I had any real expectations, to be honest, because we'd never been to one before. I didn't know what to expect. So, as I say, I think the problem is depending on what club you end up at, because some of them can be a bit sort of, you've just started and sort of, what camera do you use, and what gear you use, and that sort of stuff. And I think that still goes on to some extent, I've heard. But as I say, I'm fortunate enough, the club that I joined, that was never a problem. It was dead welcome as soon as I got there. Well, I phoned the president before I went, found out where it was, what nights we were meeting. Dead friendly on the phone, turned up. As soon as I sort of got in there, said, where's Bob, the president? Came over, good old Chumag, a few others came over at Chumag at break time. People spoke to you. You know what I mean? You weren't like sat in a corner of your own with nobody to talk to. It was a friendly club.
You see, because that's my experience of camera clubs. So the camera club I'm at now, I've been there for a while, and they're a decent bunch of guys, and I get on really well with them. But for the first, I tried to go to a camera club 3 times, same one. And the first time I went, I sat down, and no one spoke to me. One guy came and said, "Oh, hello, you're right." No one really spoke to me, and I stuck it out for about 3 weeks and went, nah. You can see there were cliques of people, and it was not very good. And the second time I went, exactly the same. And the third time I went, very similar again, and no one was really interested in anything to do with me. Didn't want to talk to me. Wasn't interested until I put a photo into the competition, 2 or 3 photos into competition, and then everybody wanted to know me. Everybody wanted to come and talk to me, but that was not because, what a great photographer he is. That was because he's got photos that could win our external competitions.
Yeah.
And that's all they're bothered about. For my experience, and I love my camera club. I enjoy going. I enjoy, speaking to the people there. But really and truly, the way I look at camera clubs is they're only really bothered about winning competitions against other camera clubs. They're not. Are
you sure they just want interest in the person who took that photo, Gary?
No, they were just what?
They didn't ever spoke with you if they did.
Posted a photo. Why are you thinking like that? Why are you not?
No, I entered a photo. So I entered a photo to the competition, right? Their competitions. And before that, I'd been for 3 or 4 weeks before that. They even had I even sat there, and they had a new woman turn up, and they went, this is about 3 weeks in, they went, "Oh, by the way, we've got some new members here." And I was like, "Oh, finally, someone's going to say, hello to me." And they went, "Oh, it's so-and-so here, this nice lady." And everyone went, "Oh, hello." And I'm like, I'm still sat here, hello. I'm still sat here, nothing. And then...
Your skirt wasn't short enough.
But even then, right, so I went there for the first year, right, the first year of the camera club, and I'm not showing off, I'm not being a big head, but I won the digital image, digital of the year with all the scores added up. I won the landscape one of the year, and I won the newcomer of the year, right? And we had an exhibition in the hall, right, in the summer to try and drum up new membership and get new members in. And I went there, and the chairman or the chairperson came up to me and said, "Oh, are you interested in joining the club?" I'm like, "I've got 3 of your trophies."
And you're not having them back, you bastard.
But that's my experience of camera clubs.
Yeah, I have to say, the story you tell is a similar one, I think. I went to a camera club like that. I went first off to learn. And if you go to a camera club thinking that you're going to learn something, forget it.
And that was why I asked that question to Kevin.
Yeah.
Saying, what are your expectations?
I went.
You won't go to a camera club today and really learn. You might learn if you get in with a few guys or or women, and and socialise a bit, and then you talk about your photography, you talk about what you take, and you talk about this, talk about that. Then that's how you learn. You won't learn anything by actually going to the club and the club teaching you anything. It's the people in there that you get to meet and socialise with. That's where you learn.
I think we all, before we go to a camera club, have this perception of what a camera club is, and it's not what we think it is. As I said, if you want to learn something, you book somebody to learn with, or you take a course on it. Camera clubs are not that type of thing. And I didn't realize, I thought, oh, I'll join a camera club and I'll learn something. And I went like Gary, I went for about 3 weeks. And on the third week, you have the first 2 weeks free, and then you pay your quarterly subscription on the third week. I went on the third week and I paid my quarterly subscription and I didn't go back.
I must admit, I joined a camera club probably for the sort of reason that most people don't. It was quite cynical, really, and I'm sort of loath to admit it, because they are genuinely nice people who made me very welcome from the outset. But I went to validate my own capabilities.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that, Dave.
And once I put a big green tick in that particular box, I left. I paid my subs, like you, Al. I paid my subs. I paid up, and I even paid for a year when I didn't go at all, because I sort of felt a bit guilty. But it was quite a cynical exercise insofar as I had no yardstick against which to measure my capabilities, because as we've done to death, social media and YouTube and all that sort of thing, you don't get much of an objective input. And I found out from a camera club RPS standpoint where I stood at the time, and I thought, okay, that's great. That's what I wanted to know, and that was why I joined, and having found that out, subsequently left.
Yeah, I also found that, sort of like somebody mentioned earlier on, they're interested in your images for competitions, and I become heavily involved in the competition side. Welsh National, this particular black and white year, won a national competition. There was a couple from from a club in Wigan 10.
Wigan 10, yeah, they're well known.
There was a man and wife.
They're the competition club, they are.
So, yes.
But it goes even wider than that. I mean, you know, my images were sent around the world to various international tournaments off the back of it.
But I thought, it wasn't doing me any good. It wasn't pushing me on to become a better photographer. I was taking images for competition and not really for my own personal. And I used to take a lot of bird photography because I got some nice birds coming in the garden. I had a shed. I'd sit there, build the perches, a bit like Gary and Darren had done. And I'd put them in the competition. They'd be like, wow, you know, great. But I became known as the man, Boas, bird on a stick man. Mm-hmm. You know?
Birdman.
And I just thought, no, I don't. I love the landscape. It was one of the reasons why I first started taking photography. I'm a bird watcher anyway, but I just like to watch the birds. But because I had birds in my garden, I thought, well, I'll put a couple of perches up, take some shots, and, you know. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, here's another bird on a stick winning award image.
I gave you that. We used to have people, though, come to our judges, come and go, they call it a nibs. Or nabs, sorry, not another bloody sunset. Or not another bloody sunrise. Yeah. And they go, oh, this is a nabs image. And you'd have judges who come on and go, there'd be like a stunning image someone had taken from Iceland. And they go, yeah, I've seen loads of pictures from Iceland. It's been overdone. Next.
Yeah.
Ooh.
When you're in a club and you enter club competitions, you do have to grow a bit of a thick skin as regards judges, because they come out with some shit.
Yeah. There was a Welsh national judge, and a good friend of mine who is a great wildlife photographer. I tried to persuade him to come to the club because he took some fantastic images, and I thought this would be good for the club. It would be good for him to get some national recognition. So he came to the club for a couple of weeks, and I said, come on, Mike, give it a go, you know. We got this competition coming up in a couple of weeks. Put an image in. So he did, and it was a shot of 5 fox cubs up the mountain that he had taken. An absolutely amazing shot it was. And when the judge came up, he started critiquing this. And his first words were, obviously, he said, these fox cubs are used to being around people. And I would probably think that they were taken in a an environment that the photographer allowed it. And I was like cringing because my mate really didn't want to come to the club, but I had persuaded him to club, and he was sat in front of me, and I was thinking, oh my God, no, this guy was like, and this guy actually went on to become chairman of the PAGB. His name is Roy Thomas. And
this is the guy. This is the guy that said it was in the captured environment.
Yeah, and he reiterated. He reiterated. He said it twice or three times in his summing up. And in the end, I had to put my hand up and said, "It's not my image, but can I just tell you that this was captured out in the wild? The guy set it all up, watched the fox, the nest or whatever they call it, for 3 weeks before taking it." And he changed in his sort of summary to it and saying the fox cubs now they look wary and stuff like that. And my mate said, "I'm never coming back to a camera club again."
Don't blame him.
The ironical thing about it was he was sat next to a guy from an opposing camera club, and the guy put up a photograph of an otter that had been taken in a tank, right? And he said, "No, this is how to take a wildlife shot."
Well, you see, that's the problem, isn't it, with club photography?
And the guy turned around
the guy's a
to
moo-moo.
me. Yeah, and the guy turned around to me, and he was from an opposing camera club, and he said, "It was taken in a tank."
Yeah.
He said, "I went somewhere that they put him up." Yeah, and I'm like, "Oh well." And he scored that one 19 out of 20, and the fox cubs something like 15. And at that particular time, I thought, okay, just give it up.
As Groucho Marx said, I never want to be involved in a club that would accept me. That drive me bloody nuts. I mean, ancients are moo-moo, isn't it? You know, yeah, that's great. And it's tuck in a bloody tank. Yeah?
Yeah.
And then he says the one who was judging, oh, well, that looks captured. And it's like when we were talking about El Potti, yeah? You're actually judging your images on the back of what other people think.
Yeah, subjective. It's subjective at the end of the
Absolutely.
day. But
frustrates me.
Yeah, that's sort of cringeworthy for me because I had asked my mate.
I think though, to bring a bit of balance, because you're absolutely right, Alan. I think we've all encountered judges of that ilk. Sadly, they're in the majority. However, it is also fair to say there are some camera club judges who are really good. Yeah. And who go to great lengths to encourage people who put in images that are unlikely to be commended, but they'll give them something really constructive to think about, to work on. They'll give praise where it's due, no matter how fleeting that praise is warranted. And when you get a judge like that, it's like a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
And I think that, rather like Premier League referees, there should be a judging school, and if you should be turfed out.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. You are right, Dave. There are some really good judges about, but there are some plunkers about as well.
I've only ever come in contact with only one camera club, which was Batley Camera Club, and they were all absolutely, as everybody was saying, they were all lovely people. The judges were lovely people. Everybody was great, and really positive. So, that's all I can take my influence from. But when I'm listening to things like what you were saying, Alan, if I'd have gone as a beginner photographer into that camera club and I'd have spent time walking up a mountain to take a picture of fox cubs, I'd have turned around and said, "Well, I'm not even bothering anymore."
Yeah, my mate didn't stay, to be honest, and he is an absolutely fantastic photographer, and it was our loss. But as Dave rightly said, there are some very, very good judges. And don't get me wrong, the camera club has got a place in society. Sadly, the camera clubs are falling apart these days because of social media, I think. One of the reasons, because our club went down from, I think, 30 to about 10 members at one point. And now they've amalgamated with the camera club in the next village, and I think their total membership is still only about 14 now. So
can I ask you why you think that? Can I ask you why you think that is, though, Alan? If we
social
look at
media,
it in a bit
without doubt.
But is it? Is it
yes.
that people want validation from their images?
Well, no, I think there are a couple of things. Social media is an instant fix, like Instagram, Flickr, Twitter, wherever you look at it. But the other thing I think with camera clubs, and it's only my experience, is that when you go to a camera club, the average age of a member is something like 55 upwards.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, of course it's not.
But I think that there's more to it than that, though, because you could say that over a period of time, any club, by and large, it's difficult to get the youngsters to come in and fill the seats. However, I think one of the difficulties that camera clubs face competing with social media is that they, by definition, have to be quite generic. So when I was at a camera club evening and they were talking about studio lighting or macro work or printing, 3 things in which I got absolutely no interest. Yeah. So I think what social media allows people to do is to gravitate towards the genre in which they have some interest. And given that we're all busy, we've only got a certain amount of time, we want to deploy that time as efficiently as we can and get the most from it. And I think the problem is that camera clubs are generic. I mean, you know, I've toyed with the idea of starting a landscapes group in this area. I've spoken to other photographers and had a huge amount of positive response, although I haven't got off my fat arse and done anything about it. But forming a group that is specific to a genre makes it more interesting to the people that major in that genre, you know.
Yeah, you're right, Dave. Can I just add to that? Now, we've just started our new season, and one of the hardest jobs is for the syllabus secretary, for him to fill that year with interesting evenings that's going to suit the majority of people, and it's so difficult to do. It really is.
I think one of the downfalls of camera clubs is that they have these generic competitions that are pitting apples against oranges, because, frankly, if I entered a landscape photograph in a competition where a couple of motorbikes banking at an unnatural angle on the local track are my competition, and the judge happens to like a bit of motorsport, I'm on a hiding to nothing. And you also found that there were some spectacularly crafted wildlife photographs along the lines of somebody that stalks a set of foxes for 3 weeks. You know, you get people that really put effort into their images, and then somebody goes, you know, hires a studio and gets some bird to wang her knockers out, and, you know, all of a sudden they're winning. Do you know what I mean? You're not comparing...
Melons with apples.
James's face there. He's looking at like, oh, where do I sign? But you take my point. They're combining stuff that doesn't belong together. It's ridiculous. It's like saying, okay, we're going to have a sporting league, and what we'll do is we'll put Warwickshire County Cricket Club up against Manchester City in a game of lacrosse.
So I think we'll call it a day on that. It's been a
marathon.
Emotional.
What has it been?
Gary.
A train crash.
You don't have to invite me on again, okay?
Oh, no. We've had a lovely time with everyone. Thank you to everyone who's turned up. Thank you to Kevin. Thank you to Alan. Thank you to Dave. Thank you to Roger. Thanks to the regulars. Thank you to my wife for putting up with me while I edit this. It's been a lovely week. Are
you practicing your BAFTA speech?
I'm practicing my suicide speech. We'll be,
before we go.
Oh, sweet Jesus!
Isn't that what Darren says?
I like you, Alan.
Darren says before we go.
Oh, okay. Is there anything you want? Nothing you want to add?
No, I don't want to say anything. I just wanted to be Darren.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you ever so much, everyone, for watching this week. We'll be back next week with
who knows what.
Who knows what? We might not even be back next week. Anyway, it's been lovely. So thanks very much for watching, and we'll all see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.